apparently manipulated at least 2 photographs he had taken in Lebanon. The first, showing the aftermath of an Israeli airstrike, was changed to include darker smoke, more smoke than originally had existed. Now, the second shows an Israeli jet that appears to be dropping 3 flares when in fact 2 of them were digitally added into Photoshop. We want to get an idea of just how easy it is to do this sort of thing. For that, we turn to Mieka Lewis, one of our graphic artists. And Mieka, show us what you can do. Show us how easy this actually is.
Okay, well, what you do usually just use the clone tool, and you just go in and you can add more. Like right now, I'm adding more cars to the front of the White House, and it's easily added with a clone tool.
And let me ask you this, to the average person who's just looking at this photograph, is it pretty much undetectable to determine whether or not you added it or it existed in the first place?
It is, depending on the artist who puts it together. Most of the time, most of it's undetectable. And so it's pretty easy to kind of go in and do it depending on the artist and depending on the eye that's looking at it.
And in terms of the software, how easy is it to get your hands on it, and how easy is it to manipulate?
You can actually pick it up at any of your computer stores or even online, but a lot of computers actually come with the software, something very similar to that you can manipulate and edit photos pretty easily.
All right, Mieka, you keep working on manipulating that picture of the White House. And in the meantime, I want to bring in MSNBC analyst, Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Rick Francona. And Rick, the differences in the 2 pictures we're talking about from Reuters, if you look at them side by side, it really isn't that much. I mean, you can see more smoke, you can see blacker smoke in the doctored versus the real version. But I want to show you another taken by a different photographer and published in the LA Times at the end of March. I'll show you the original photos and then a photo where the elements of the 2 photos were combined. Okay, so these are 2 photos that were original photos, and then they were combined to make this photo. Let's show that one. There it is. So it does change the composition, and in some cases would change perhaps what the photograph itself is showing. Talk a little bit about how this type of image can impact the way people view the war.
Yeah, if you look at the initial photo on the left there, you've got a soldier holding his hand up, and the gentleman, the Iraqi, is looking the other way, and it doesn't really appear to be anything menacing there. And then on the photo on the right, it's a much closer photo of the soldier. Now, when you meld those 2 photos together, it looks like he's pointing the rifle at the guy and holding his hand up, and of course the man is holding a young child. You know, these are very, very powerful images. In the photos we looked at Beirut from Ahmed Hajj, it doesn't really look like he was changing the message. He was just changing the image a little bit to enhance it. What we have here is actually trying to change the message. Yeah, and when you do that, you're actually changing the point you're trying to make.
From what I understand, the story behind this photo is that this is a British soldier, and he was actually trying to keep Iraqis from incoming fire. He was actually trying to protect them, but that's not what this actually looks like. And we should mention, back in Vietnam, Colonel Francona, a handful of photos changed the way the war was seen. I mean, there are these photos that just are the Vietnam War, so to speak. But now images are all over the place, and they're more plentiful. This is the one I was talking about. There are several, though. Now that people know that photos can be manipulated and how easy it is and how plentiful, unfortunately, it looks like it's becoming, do you believe photos still hold the same impact as, say, that one did for Vietnam?
Well, they still hold the same impact because they are such a gripping, powerful medium, especially when you've got professionals out there that can manipulate these images. But I think everybody's a little suspect of some photos because they say, is this doctored, is this real? And that leads to a whole set of problems for people that are in this business.
Yeah, for journalists specifically. All right, Colonel Francona, thank you. And real quickly, we want to check back in with Mieka to see just how much she changed that landscape in front of the White House. So Mieka, what were you able to do in that period of time?
Well, I've added some more trees in here, and I can also go in here and add a different background for the lighting, and it changes the sky completely. It goes from a daytime photo to a evening time photo just that quickly.
All right, Mieka Lewis, we appreciate your demonstration, as well as Colonel Francona. Thanks for the explanation. We appreciate it. Very interesting indeed. Quick break here. We'll be right back.